The bones were discovered last year. Several of them were uncovered. So we had to place plaster jackets over the bones and then tarps plus dirt for protection from the elements. The rain, the sleet, the snow, extreme temperatures, heat and cold.
Again, Victor.
Some dentist has been out here. Mr. Cassidy, they're moving you.
Let's get some horsepower on this part.
Victor, get around the other side. Once we get it, more.
Here. We need more people on that side. Hang on.
Tristan, get over there get over by those guys.
Yeah. There you go.
So you still got dirt out that way. Come to your way.
I'm going to take it off. Wait a minute.
You got it, Bob.
Along with the wrecks, many turtles were found around the specimen. I believe 3 were uncovered last year. The bones are in the bottom of this small gully, so we needed to widen it out, and you will certainly see why later. We're now screening the area to make sure we get all fragments that are important to science.
Let's do it. Let's see, where can we do it? Well, we're going to do it right up here and that can go away then. Yeah.
We're covering the bones with a tarp to protect them from the elements and to retain the natural ground heat. We're supposed to get temperatures below freezing tonight, so this is absolutely necessary to protect from contraction and expansion, and also the rain and snow.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
Today we woke up reluctant to get out of our warm sleeping bags, only to find a blanket of snow on the ground. Here it's May and it seems like Christmas. The snow didn't melt until after lunch. Temperatures were still freezing or below that. So around 1 or 2, we finally made our way back to the dig site.
sure we're on the bone horizon. I'm pretty sure there's nothing here. Why we're doing
We were digging around some of the turtles when a claw was found, which was the excitement of the day.
It's got me wondering. Oh, I wonder, ba-doo-ba-boo, who is this Rex claw from? It ain't no small claw. Not small?
Yeah.
As in not big? Or as in big?
Got a family affair.
Sure, will you hand me that big knife unless you're using it? We'll find that phalange that goes right behind it here.
It's a little unexpected.
It's a little high. Take a break and look at this stuff.
180 degrees off.
That's the tip. That's going to make it look bigger. It's in excavation itself.
Yeah.
But you know that's
Well, what do you suppose that? But the bones go below. Tail goes
That just
underground.
floated. That just floated on
Underneath
top.
that tail goes underneath the turtle.
So
This is above the turtles.
But
We're
it
on
floated to the
turtle.
top.
So if this were a watch your knees, Sarah.
Now you need
Watch
help
your
up?
knees, Sarah, on the turtles.
This morning we woke up to a fine blanket of snow on the ground. Quite unexpected. Because of this and because of the cold weather, we didn't get up to the dig site until well after lunch. Must have been 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon before we finally made it up here. So therefore production for the day was pretty slow. There was a claw found, however, and everybody seemed to have gotten all excited over that.
Who found the claw?
And the claw, of course, was me.
You just made the cut.
I feel like such a cheesehead.
I'm Pete Larson, president of Black Hills Institute, and I'm standing on the talus pile, or the waste pile, from the Wyrick T-Rex dig. And behind me you can see this very, very nice butte exposing the Hell Creek Formation, which is 65 million years old. This is basically was deposited at the edge of an inland sea as almost like a delta going out into the seaway that stretched from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Arctic Ocean. And the badlands that you see behind me occur in Montana, in South Dakota, in North Dakota, actually in Wyoming. They're called the Lance Formation. And these same formations go all the way down into New Mexico, although they get new names as we go across these state boundaries. But it is a very, very important period in time, because it is exactly that point in time that T-Rex lived as one of the last dinosaurs. It was just at the very top of this formation that the asteroid struck down in the Yucatan Peninsula, and all the dinosaurs were wiped out. So this is kind of an important area. We're looking at all this, not just T-Rex, but all of the fauna that was from this horizon, because it tells us what life was like just before that asteroid struck. And we're finding that it is much richer, many more dinosaurs, many more new dinosaurs that we're finding that we didn't know were here. And we're finding that the diversity of life was very, very high at that point in time, where we thought that they were actually diminishing in diversity. We're finding now that they were very, very large number of species of dinosaurs, right up to that point when that asteroid crashed in. I'm Pete Larson, and this is day 4 of the Wyrex dig. We're working on a section here which actually has at least one part of the skull, a part called the syringular, which is the back of the jaw from the left side. I'm a little dyslexic, so. Anyway, we've got what looks like a cervical rib in here. There was actually a gully coming through here originally when Dan and Don found this specimen and when Dan did the initial excavation. And that has sort of uncovered the back part here, but it's also destroyed a portion of the specimen, hopefully not too much of it, but a little bit of the pelvis and some of the tops of the vertebrae and stuff that are sticking out. Anyway, right through here, as you can see, we've taken off the tarp and exposed the field jackets that we left in the field. These are just winter jackets that kind of protected things. We haven't taken them off yet, we will tomorrow. But we have here a shoulder blade. It's a little difficult to see, but you have to sort of use your imagination. This is the pubis, which is one of the pelvic bones. The ilium would be there. We found part of it already still preserved in the ground. Oh, that's very nice. There's ischia here. We have the right femur, the right upper leg bone poking out here. This is right at the knee. This is the other part of the leg, the lower leg bone, the tibia, actually fibula and calcaneum and astragalus. The ankle bones are attached to it as well. We have laying on top of it the left femur right here, which is the upper bone from the left leg. This is one of the feet over here, a lot of foot bones. There's a beautiful claw found in here last year. And the metatarsals, which are the main part of the foot right through here. And very nice, you can see very nicely coming from the pelvis is the articulated tail. And today, really the only bone that has been found, because basically we've been surrounding this dinosaur and trying to get the rock away from it, the overburden away from it, so we can really work on the specimen efficiently and be able to get it out of the ground without digging ourselves into a hole. The only bone that we found today thus far really is, besides that ilium over there, is this beautiful toe bone, which in fact Don, the owner of the ranch, found right there. Very, very nice bone. There's our turtle number 5 sitting in front of Andy's knee. And tomorrow we're going to take down more of this overburden. We found the level, and so we've still got about 2 feet of overburden there, which we can remove. We'll probably be removing that with our old friend the bobcat, and incidentally Steve Sackerson has joined us. So now we have 2 really good bobcat operators, Sam and Steve, who will be able to get this thing really cleared out for us. This is I guess you'd call it the major discovery of today. This is a very, very beautiful toe bone. It's from probably the right foot because the right ankle is right over there, and I suspect very strongly that we're going to find the rest of that foot here. I think that is the left foot we have over there, kind of by the pelvis, and so this would probably be for the right foot. If you look very closely, coming from that foil, that was the pelvis over there, and then we kind of see these. It's a little bit hard to see, but there's these kind of black lumps coming here. You can see a division. These are actually tail vertebrae, and the tail is going underground, following up to that wall over there. We don't know exactly how far it goes, but however far it goes, that's where we'll follow.
I'll have to go home.
Right here we have what I believe is the left syringular. And that is the bone from the back of the jaw. The jaw actually has a joint right in the middle, unlike human beings. And so the front of the jaw that has the teeth is called the dentary, and that part behind that tooth-bearing element is called the syringular, and that's laying right here. Kind of looking at the inside of it where a huge muscle, an adductor muscle, jaw-closing muscle attaches. And then we've got some other interesting things here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, and I think it'll take a bit more digging and to really see what we've got going on here. But we've got at least one skull bone.
Pretty much, pretty much all of this stuff.
Nobody misses it.
Okay. Yeah, that should. So it's 46 or 47. And Sue is 54. Stan is 52. So this is almost exactly the same size as Bucky.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But it's narrower. So it's male.
I don't know. This is going to be a male.
Good afternoon, I'm Matt Larson, and today I would like to show you T-Rex's first complete wrist bone ever found. Right here we have the very end of one bone, this larger bone being what's called a metacarpal, like you have here, and this is the wrist bone. And they also had at least one other wrist bone, maybe as more as two other wrist bones. But here you are. Yay for science. Need a T-Rex hand.
Turn it one more time.
Should I turn it this way, right side up? People are probably going to be thinking like this. Or maybe I could do this.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Can you?
We use this grid to map the bones, as mapping is essential in paleontology. Mapping helps us get an idea of the taphonomy of the dinosaur, that is, the series of events that led up to its death. Mapping also helps us, like if there are bones scattered away from the main bone mass, it can help us decide possibly where a stream may have flowed and can thereby lead to or help us get a better idea of where other bones may be.
Build it, curve it around.
I'm glad you covered that bird.
This one. Sure, then we got dry
We've done that many times.
Yeah, it's bone, all right.
Yep. Oh yeah. Is that bone or is that smear?
Yeah, it's bone. It is looking like another knuckle bone, huh?
Ooh, and it just keeps going.
Really nice. Here, hold it together, actually.
So roots can be
I think I
destructive
hear
and helpful.
Well, they're destructive, but they can also, they can also be helpful too. Yeah, it's big phalange. Where they go? Okay, see that nice pit. This pit in front. So this is the back of the toe. This is the front of the toe. This pit allows rotation of the toe bones, and it's also an anchoring spot for tendon or for ligaments that hold the toes together.
Good, you can help make pancakes.
Really
See, 'cause we have-
expose the caudal vertebrae up there.
I think it's real interesting. We have toe
Yeah,
on both
that was
ends.
yesterday. They're going in. I think that
Has a femur length of 54 inches, that's 8 inches different. Stan, also an adult, has a femur length of...
it's the overnight cleanup.
But that is a question that they've asked.
I know it's a claw. Look at the matrix.
Oh, sure. Sure.
There's a claw right in here somewhere.
Where males actually
I'm going to put this up here. I see Ray was doing that a bunch.
Oh, I've been looking all my pieces over.
See your,
It's
your rock's gotta be right there. Right there.
Right there, you can see. Because this is the iron band on that end.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's
then
it.
gonna
Oh,
do
we're not
that.
real bad shape.
No, you're not bad at all. It's not looking bad.
On the claw.
My territory or yours?
That's kind of.
Hey, you abandoned it.
my territory.
Yeah, it's Steve's.
Sam.
He doesn't want to take the
We're
claim.
just the rough end.
Yeah, we're the rough end.
Somewhere. This is the only piece, Steve.
Got some vinac. Well, that's cool.
And it goes right on this
Yeah,
top
right,
edge.
goes.
And I don't think it even has surface on it, honestly.
Well, that was a bit good. That was a good chunk. It wasn't a bad one because I think we got it all. That is one thing you'll notice when you do bust something in this stuff. It either sticks to one or the other. It usually doesn't really fly apart.
Toes. My knees are like all sanded.
Yeah, put my foot in there for a scale.
Yeah, that wouldn't help much, would it?
ventrum were probably just right in here. This is hard.
So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Does anybody know what this dinosaur is?
T-Rex.
Oh, someone told you. Anybody seen it on the web yet?
Yeah. No.
Anybody have any problems with the website?
No.
Well, if you are, I can't help you because I'm not so good at the computer. I'm too old. Question is there going to be any skin? We actually have a chance of finding skin on this T-Rex. There's never been any T-Rex skin found yet. And so we don't really know what they look like on their body. But this matrix is the rock. That means matrix means the rock that the dinosaur is found in is very fine grained, and it preserves plants. And we're hoping that there's a chance that it might preserve some of the skin of this T-Rex. And even better than that, do you know what T-Rex had on their skin? This is kind of a trick question.
Scales.
Scales. That's what people thought for a long, long time, and they probably did have scales on their feet. You know what? Have you seen a chicken foot? Their feet probably look just like a chicken foot. They have claws, and then they had scales on their feet. But covering most of their body, especially when they were young, now we believe they had feathers like a bird, because they're so closely related to birds. Now, we think this because there have been 8 different kinds of meat-eating dinosaurs found now in this very special place over in China, north of Beijing, north of the capital of China, where they found these at least 8 different types of dinosaurs, and some of them they have 5 or 6 skeletons with feathers on them. They're all meat-eating dinosaurs, all related to Tyrannosaurus rex. So we think Tyrannosaurus rex actually had feathers. Can you imagine this giant animal with feathers? Probably had feathers on its arms too, kind of almost like a bird. Anybody think T-Rex could fly?
No.
Nope. Too big, too heavy, and their arms are too little. First, yes.
How many years have you been doing
Question is, how many years have I been doing this? I started when I was 4 years old. I'm 52 now. So, anybody know the math on that? How many years is that? 48, that's right. So I've been doing this for 48 years. I have been doing this as a business. We find dinosaurs for museums or find homes for dinosaurs in museums all over the world. And we have a museum in Hill City, South Dakota too. Been doing that since 1974. Anybody know how long that is? More math here?
30 years.
30 years, that's absolutely correct. So, been doing this for a long time, and I have kids out here too. I have a daughter and a son. They both went back to Hill City for a couple of days, but my daughter will be back here pretty soon. They have been doing this since they were little kids too. They started when they were 2 and 3 and 4 years old, coming with us on dinosaur digs. And I have a 2-year-old daughter who's here, that you guys, there, right there. Kids that have made important dinosaur discoveries too. There's a young gal who was 13, her name is India, when she discovered one of the best Allosaurus skeletons that's ever been found.
Do you think you'll find anything else besides the T-Rex here?
The question is, do we think we'd find anything else besides the T-Rex here? We know we have found, actually, there are 5 turtles here with the T-Rex. And so maybe the cause of death was that it was trampled to death by turtles. Does anybody think that's a good theory?
No.
No? No? Okay, well maybe we won't go into that theory then. Does anybody know what the word of the science is that I do?
Archaeologist.
That's close. Paleontologist. Now, that's confused. Archaeology and paleontology are kind of confused sometimes. The definition of paleontology is the study of ancient life. The definition of archaeology is the study of ancient life. I don't know why anybody would confuse those 2 terms. But paleontology, we study animals and plants.
Have you ever found like eggs by a T-Rex or something like that?
Have we ever found eggs by a T-Rex? We found, I think, 3 little tiny fragments of eggshell by one of the T-Rex we call Stephen. In fact, Steve Sackerson here is the guy who found that T-Rex. And this T-Rex was cannibalized. It was eaten by another T-Rex. And we found a couple little fragments, but no one's found we don't know that that's a T-Rex eggshell though, because it's just a couple fragments of eggshell. We of course would like to think it is, but we don't know that for sure. Someday someone will find one. Anybody have any idea how big a T-Rex egg would be? A T-Rex egg would look like a loaf of French bread. It'd be about 20, 22 inches long and be only about 5 or 6 inches in diameter. They're very weird looking eggs. Very different than chicken eggs. Yeah.
T-Rex beside the big dinosaurs?
The question is, have we ever found any baby T-Rex beside the big dinosaur? We found some pieces of a juvenile and pieces of a baby T-Rex with Sue. There was just part of the brain case, part of the skull of a T-Rex who had a skull only about 10 inches long. Sue's skull is 5 feet long, so that's pretty small. And then a juvenile whose skull was about 18 inches long.
That's right where I started.
That's just parts of them, only little parts is all. Yes?
Do you have all the bones here, or are you missing some?
The question is, do we have all the bones here, or are we missing some? We definitely will be missing some because no complete T-Rex skeleton has ever been found. Sue is only about 80% complete, and that's the most that's been found. So there's about 300 bones in a T-Rex skeleton, so we're missing about, that Sue's missing about 60 bones. This one will be missing bones too. We're not sure exactly how many bones will be here. We think it'll be a lot. We've got, a lot of the back end of the dinosaur. The front end of the skeleton is where we're going to be missing most. The most bones that would be missing from the front of the skull, because we can see where some bones have been eroded away. That were here, but they're gone now, so we know those will be gone. T-Rex bone. Hi, sweetie. Hi there. You want Daddy to hold you? Good. Yes.
Why does that bone have holes in it?
That bone has holes in it because that's the original texture of the bone. That's the marrow. And if you look inside, next time you're eating a T-bone steak where you can see the bone, look inside that bone. It has the same kind of texture. Yes. Let's see. This is a hard question. I just told you what the name of the upper leg bone is. Does anybody remember that name?
I know. Femur?
Femur, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked you over there. You didn't get to answer. Femur. Anybody remember the name of the lower leg bone? The big one in the lower leg. Knee bone? John's wrong.
Tibia?
Tibia. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Anybody know what these bones are called?
The knuckles.
Finger bones, metacarpals. Metacarpals are in the hand, but these are right. Phalanges, that's right, phalanges. So this is kind of an osteology lesson. Osteology is the study of bones.
Can you tell how exactly dinosaurs got extinct or whatever?
The question is, can we tell how dinosaurs became extinct? About 65 million years ago, there was a giant asteroid that crashed into the Earth down on the near the Gulf of Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula, a little place called Chicxulub. It was like 50 billion atomic bombs going off. And so it was a huge explosion that completely killed everything anywhere near it. But then it also put up tons and tons and tons of dust into the air. That dust made it so you could not see the sun. It was dark on Earth for more than a year. All the plants died, all of them. No photosynthesis. Does anybody know what photosynthesis is? What is it?
It has the sun. It has
that's right.
Sun to grow.
It has to have sun to grow. The plants use the sun to photosynthesize the minerals that they take out of the soil and make sugars and make food for the plants and make the plant themselves. And so without photosynthesis, plants cannot live. And so all the plants died. Then all the big plant eaters died. Then all the big meat eaters died. And it went down the line until virtually all the dinosaurs except birds became extinct.
Have you ever found eggs by a T-Rex or something like that?
Have we ever found eggs by a T-Rex? We found, I think, 3 little tiny fragments of eggshell by one of the T-Rex we call Stephen. In fact, Steve Sackerson here is the guy who found that T-Rex. And this T-Rex was cannibalized. It was eaten by another T-Rex.
And we found a couple little fragments, but no one's found we don't know that that's a T-Rex eggshell though, because it's just a couple fragments of eggshell. We of course would like to think it is, but we don't know that for sure. Someday someone will find one. Anybody have any idea how big a T-Rex egg would be? A T-Rex egg would look like a loaf of French bread. It'd be about 20, 22 inches long and be only about 5 or 6 inches in diameter. A very weird looking egg. Very different than chicken eggs. Yeah.
T-Rex beside big dinosaurs.
The question is, have we ever found any baby T-Rex beside the big dinosaur? We found some pieces of a juvenile and pieces of a baby T-Rex with Sue. There was just part of the brain case, part of the skull of a T-Rex who had a skull only about 10 inches long. Sue's skull is 5 feet long, so that's pretty small. And then a juvenile whose skull was about 18 inches long.
That's right where I started.
That's just parts of them, only little parts is all. Yes?
Do you have all the bones here, or are you missing some?
The question is, do we have all the bones here, or are we missing some? We definitely will be missing some because no complete T-Rex skeleton has ever been found. Sue is only about 80% complete, and that's the most that's been found. So there's about 300 bones in a T-Rex skeleton, so we're missing about, that Sue's missing about 60 bones. This one will be missing bones too. We're not sure exactly how many bones will be here. We think it'll be a lot. We've got, a lot of the back end of the dinosaur. The front end of the skeleton is where we're going to be missing most. The most bones that would be missing from the front of the skull, because we can see where some bones have been eroded away. They were here, but they're gone now, so we know those will be gone. T-Rex bone. Hi, sweetie. Hi there. You want Daddy to hold you? Yes.
Why does that bone have holes in it?
That bone has holes in it because that's the original texture of the bone. That's the marrow. And if you look inside, next time you're eating a T-bone steak where you can see the bone, look inside that bone. It has the same kind of texture. Yes.
This thing.
That's okay. We have buckets. Okay. I'm working on a big concretion that contains at least 4 bones. They are, I believe, phalanges. We're going to have to take this thing out in one piece because it's just too hard to break it out of the concretion now. I've just exposed another end of a bone here, and as soon as I can get some glue, I'm going to re-glue it and then glue this recently exposed piece of bone out. And as I say, this will come out in one piece. One of the reasons for elevating it so much is it's been setting in a puddle and it's just soaking wet. The water is running out of it as I remove aggregate, matrix rather. Anyway, it'll make a nice cast, and it isn't going to be as heavy as I thought it was going to be.
This, I'm almost positive, like I'm 90% sure that's the quadrato jugal, which is the, which means that I'm 10% unsure.
That's the back part of the
back part, yeah. On the back of the skull, it covers the bone that connects the upper and lower jaw, called the quadrate, and it touches the cheek, which is called the jugal. So the bone's name is the quadrato jugal.
These These bones, which may be a quadratojugal and maxilla from the skull, are encased in extremely hard and very difficult to remove concretion.
Yeah, they're making these in China now. Probably will bend.
You're moving like about 5 feet.
I need a bar. I think we need to use the jackhammer. We still have the, did we have the big jackhammer?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Let's do it.
Well, we haven't got it out yet.